Hello everyone. This is my presentation on the prototype for the AR VR. Uh, so my prototype name is Descry. It is a device to aid social awareness of deaf people. Uh, we know that deaf people communicate with each other using sign language, but deaf people can also learn what the other person is speaking by reading the lips, and also written text helps in communication. But sign language has been the preferable form of communication for most of the deaf people. So, considering this all, Descry class was created to help deaf people learn what other person is trying to say or speak by displaying the equivalent sign language translation in the glass. The motivation behind this prototype is that deaf people can't be aware of the social interaction going around in their social environment. Like for example, over here in this picture, the person, the the people that are sitting around in the circular fashion are speaking with each other and consider that they are not there deaf, so they are speaking with each other. But the deaf people, who is the person with the question mark, can't know about the conversation because none of them use the sign language and they are speaking with each other. So he or she can't join in the conversation. So this prototype was created to solve this problem by so that by letting the deaf person know what is going around in their social environment, like what person is speaking what is the conversation about, stuff like that. Uh, in the past, there has been some researches on how to convert the audio to the sign language, like the paper written over here, so that the way to convert audio to sign language, and for displaying the sign language, it use animation. But the thing with the problem with the audio is that it faces the problem with the noise, and also there has been considerable work done in audio to text translation, but it is not preferable among the deaf people because they don't like reading to thread text. And also some background researchers have shown that lips reading can be complementary to audio. It can significantly increase accuracy even in the presence of noise. And interestingly, it can be used to locate the active speaker. Like say there are multiple speakers in an environment like in a conference, then based on the audio, it can actively distinguish the speaker using the lips movement. Uh, the implementation of my prototype consists of a device that is similar to a Google Glass, which contains the computing power. So it has cameras to track the people and users' eyes. So say in this class, there is camera on this outside, and over here cameras over here, like the pointed out, like the dots shown over there, and there is camera outside and on the inside too. The outside is for tracking the people in the environment, social environment, and the cameras on the inside is for tracking the gaze, the focus, and the movement of the eye of the user. And there is microphone to capture the audio, which is on the side of the glass. And this whole screen acts, whole glass acts as a screen to render, so that if there is a sign language over here, then it will just pop out over here, rendered as an augmented reality. So how can a person use a digital glass? Consider that I am a deaf person, then I'll have to use a digital glass. Then this is, say that this is a digital glass and I'm a deaf person. So if there is some people having a conversation over in front of me, then I'll have to focus on that person. Then the cameras in the display glass will automatically track the focus and know that which person I'm currently focusing on. It will then capture the lips movement of that person, and that will be used to isolate the audio of the person from the rest of the noise. Like that can be from the buzzing of the car or airplane, like that. And then this audio will be converted to American Sign Language. American Sign Language because there can be lots of meaning out there, and it is the only one that we are considering for the sake of simplicity. And after the sign language is done converting, then it is rendered in front of the glass, just like the glare that is currently being seen in my eye. But the position of the signs will be like right in front of the person. So say that if the person is right over here, uh, the sign will be rendered right in front of the person to indicate that that is the current person I'm focusing on and listening to. So, first of all, before performing the experiments, the deaf participants were instructed on how to use the device. So, and there were two experimental setup to answer two questions like how accurately can a deaf person use the system, how does the system perform in presence of noise, and both experiments were designed in within subject's manner. And after both experiments were conducted, an interview for subjective feedback was taken. Uh, the experiment one consisted of 30 deaf participants, 15 male, 15 female, with an average age of 30 years old. And it was required that they all knew American Sign Language, and also that they had no vision impairment because will require the deaf participant to focus on the speaker. And also for speakers were chosen from the linguistic department with an average age of 24 and a deaf interpreter to communicate with the participant, like to take their response and to like instruct them on something. So in experiment one, uh, four different short sentences were assigned to each speaker to read out to the deaf participants. Each short sentences were relatively short, like about 3 seconds long. There was 1 minute interval in between those short sentences, and that was utilized to record the response from the participant, uh, like what the can you tell me like what the speaker was trying to say? Can you replicate the conversation, the sentence the speaker was saying, like that? And the whole system was recorded because it can be utilized in the future to ensure that the misinterpretation or the wrong result was not due to the lack of focus of the deaf participant, because sometimes the deaf participant might not be focused upon the speaker and there might be no sign language being rendered on the glass. Similarly, for the experiment 2, the same participants and speakers were chosen. In this experiment too, a simple conversation dialogue given to the group of speakers, the four speakers, which was about 30 seconds long. The deaf people were particularly instructed to know the conversation of all speakers as much as possible, as accurately as possible. The participants and the participant and the speakers were instructed to sit in a round table fashion as shown in the picture, because this did not occlude the vision of the deaf person, and yes, she could watch the mouth, the lips movement of each and every speaker. After that, the speaker uh, made the scripted conversation with one another, and finally the response was recorded from the deaf participant. And in this too, the whole session was recorded for the reason previously stated. And finally, an interview was conducted with each participant, because our interview can give some interesting feedback or some insight in the experiment. So the following question were asked, like, what is your opinion about the device? Did you have any difficulty in wearing it? Was it intuitive on its usability? How do you think improvement can be made on this device? Stuff like that. uh, I think this prototype has a lot of application, with some being it can be used for automatic sign language generator, for movies, for the deaf people, and it can be also be used for the social awareness as the titles suggest, and it can be combined with other interfaces to which can be used for full communication with a person who doesn't know any sign language, as this prototype can be used to recognize the speech of the other person, uh, and another interface which translates the sign language to any speech could be used to answer to the person. So this is my prototype for the AR VR. I hope you like it. Thank you.